Oh, let's get it.
Leaving Rome, I took the train up to Florence. I checked into the hostel, dropped off my bags, and went straight out to explore. And somehow, the first thing I ate in Florence was Chinese food. Not exactly what I pictured eating in Italy. Then I remember turning a corner and seeing the Duomo for the first time. Pictures really don't do it justice. That night, I ended up in an Irish pub watching the Sinner Alcaraz match. Before heading back to the hostel, I grabbed a kebab. Next morning, I didn't really have a plan. Honestly, those usually ended up being my favorite days when I'm traveling. I grabbed a few snacks, wandered through the markets, looked around at all the different buildings. Florence felt really easy to be in. Busy, but not overwhelming. You could spend hours walking around and never really feel rushed. Eventually, I made my way to the Al Antico Vinaio. Every single person told me I had to try it. The line was long, it was definitely touristy, but after finally getting the sandwich, I understood the hype. And obviously I had to grab another gelato. Later that night, I made my way up to Piazzale Michelangelo for sunset. I honestly thought seeing the Duomo would be my favorite part of Florence, but this ended up taking that spot. There was live music, people sitting around, talking, watching the sunset over the city. Nobody seemed to be in a rush to be anywhere else. This was one of my favorite parts of my whole trip. It was one of those moments where you just stop thinking about what's next and just appreciate where you are. One thing I try to do whenever I travel is go for a run in whatever city I'm in. So the next morning I headed down towards the river and ran through Florence before the crowds were really out. It's a completely different way to experience a place.
It's a little plaza. Just trying to slow it down today. Take a nice chill day and kind of go. It's nice to have one of these chill days here and there.
And somehow I ended up back at the same sandwich shop. Not every day while traveling is packed with crazy adventures. Sometimes you edit videos, sometimes you go for another walk, sometimes you just recharge.
Florence last night. Got a reservation at this little trattoria. Wasn't like anyone in there earlier, so it's literally at the end of like this little alley. I ran into it when I was trying to find my next hostel. My phone died, so I was kind of guessing where I was going, and they were closed at the time, but they had their menu on it. It seemed like it was pretty good, and like with it being like tucked back in the alley, I feel like it's a good little, maybe a hole in the wall. We'll see, but yeah, it's like right up here. So I'm doing a solo last meal in Florence for now, and train to Bologna, and then flight to surprise destination. So I'm excited but kind of nervous where we're going next. Not nervous, but like I'm like, was it the right decision? So I'm hoping it is. Everyone we talked to kind of convinced us. So yeah, the cars here are actually so cool. Well, everything's like stick too. Something you see in the movies. But on that note, just really right here, the little edge of like the, so here it is, Trattoria.
Alright, well somehow I thought it was a good idea to go for a run after having this pasta dinner. Must have had the carbs flowing, but anyway, got a little loose and then went for a little run at night in downtown Florence along the river. And yeah, headed back to the hostel and took it easy. Woke up, and at this point we're about 2 weeks into the trip, and I woke up, started feeling that feeling, you know, stuffy nose, something's coming on, you know, not good. And today was a travel day. I do remember this morning,
Lost track what day it is.
in Florence, I had to get to the Florence bus station, and I was at the wrong bus stop, and I was trying to get a tea because I could tell I was getting sick. And this, everything, they gouged so much. They wanted 10 euros for a cup of hot water. I think I had tea. Anyway, I just thugged out. Ended up meeting back up with Nick. We bussed to Bologna, made it there, got to the Bologna airport, not really sure if I'm saying this right, and then took off to our next destination, Lisbon, Portugal.